Before we jump into today's video, if you enjoy this kind of naval history content, please leave a like, it really helps the channel out, and hit subscribe to join the crew for all future ships of war content. So let's get into it. Hull count is one of the greatest illusions in modern military analysis. On paper, a navy packed with hundreds of small, fast attack craft looks terrifying. In reality, a fleet of coastal patrol boats cannot display power across an ocean, cannot protect global shipping lanes, and will not survive a high-intensity missile duel. True naval strength is measured by a far more demanding metric: total displacement, technological sophistication, logistical endurance, and the balance between green water coastal defense and blue water power projection. To understand who truly rules the waves, we have to look past the raw numbers. We must break down the hulls by their exact tactical roles, from missile cruisers and fleet destroyers to silent hunter-killer submarines. Furthermore, we must factor in operational readiness. Because of the naval rule of thirds, no country keeps its entire fleet at sea. At any given moment, roughly one-third of a navy is deployed on active patrol, one-third is training, and the final third is locked in dry dock undergoing maintenance. This is the complete, definitive breakdown of the top 10 naval forces on Earth, ranked from number 10, all the way to the absolute king of the blue water. Starting at number 10, Indonesia. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelagic state. Comprised of over 17,000 islands, consequently, their naval doctrine is completely dominated by territorial defense, anti-piracy, and securing internal waterways, rather than projecting power across the open Pacific. Indonesia's vanguard of their heavy surface force relies on 7 guided missile frigates. This includes the modern, Dutch-designed Martedinata class and the aging, retrofitted Ahmed Yani class. For underwater denial, their silent service operates a modest fleet of 4 conventional diesel-electric submarines, primarily consisting of the newer South Korean-built Nagapasa class and the venerable Kakra class. But look at their coastal and littoral defense, and you see where Indonesia boasts its massive numbers. The fleet commands 21 heavily armed corvettes, including the Diponegoro and Bung Tomo classes, supplemented by an immense swarm of roughly 160 coastal patrol vessels and fast attack missile boats. These smaller craft are optimized for lethal, high-speed hit-and-run tactics within shallow island straits. To move troops across this vast island chain, Indonesia maintains a robust amphibious capability with approximately 30 landing ships and transport hulls, alongside 10 dedicated mine warfare vessels. Because Indonesia operates primarily within its own territorial waters, its logistical trail is incredibly short. On any given day, up to 50 small vessels, patrol craft, and frigates are actively underway, maintaining a heavy, visible presence to deter smuggling and regional incursions. Number 9, Italy. Moving to the Mediterranean, the Italian Navy presents a stark contrast. This is a compact, highly advanced, and exceptionally balanced blue water navy, designed to secure Europe's southern flank and display power throughout the wider Mediterranean basin. Italy punches well over its weight, operating 2 aircraft carriers, the flagship Cava, which deploys 5th-generation F-35B stealth fighters, and continues to maintain the aging Giuseppe Garibaldi in a secondary role. Their main surface battle line is anchored by 4 highly modern guided missile destroyers, featuring the advanced Franco-Italian Orizzonte class and 11 frontline frigates, dominated by the exceptionally capable Bergamini-class multi-role platforms. Italy operates 0 heavy cruisers, favoring these agile multi-mission destroyers instead. Their silent service relies on 8 highly advanced conventional submarines. This includes the Tadaro class, which utilizes air-independent propulsion, or AIP systems. This allows them to remain submerged for weeks at a time, with near-total acoustic silence. For localized patrolling and secondary duties, Italy utilizes 16 offshore patrol vessels and light corvettes, keeping their heavy destroyers free for high-end mission sets. Their expeditionary capability is rounded out by 3 amphibious assault ships. With the massive new landing helicopter dock entering service, and 10 highly sophisticated counter-mine vessels. Following a disciplined structural rotation, Italy consistently keeps between 15 and 20 ships actively on patrol across the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, and the Horn of Africa, ensuring rapid response capabilities for NATO operations. Number 8. The United Kingdom. The Royal Navy has undergone a massive structural transformation over the last decade. Although recently in the news for the wrong reasons, with maintenance bottlenecks and carrier mechanical issues leading many to question the fleet's current fitness, it has consciously traded total hull numbers for raw, high-end capability, centering its entire modern doctrine around two massive, globally deployed carrier strike groups. The centerpieces of British sea power are its two Queen Elizabeth-class supercarriers, the largest warships ever constructed for the Royal Navy. Protecting these giants are 6 Type 45 Daring-class guided missile destroyers, widely regarded as some of the most advanced air defense platforms on Earth. The anti-submarine workhorses are the 9 Type 23 Duke-class frigates, which are currently transitioning to the next-generation Type 26 and Type 31 hull designs. The UK operates 0 cruisers. The United Kingdom operates a 100% nuclear-powered submarine fleet consisting of 10 vessels. This includes the lethal Astute-class nuclear attack and the 4 Vanguard-class ballistic missile submarines, which carry the nation's strategic nuclear deterrent. Due to budget constraints and this intense focus on deep-water operations, the UK has minimized its coastal fleet, relying on just 8 River-class offshore patrol vessels for domestic security. The Royal Navy retains 2 Albion-class amphibious transport docks for Royal Marine deployment, alongside 9 dedicated mine-hunting ships. At any given moment, 15 to 20 ships are actively deployed worldwide. This includes keeping at least 1 nuclear ballistic missile submarine on unbroken, continuous at-sea deterrent patrol, alongside an active presence in the North Atlantic and the Middle East. Number 7. France. The French Navy is one of the few naval forces left on Earth capable of autonomous global intervention. France maintains a unique strategic position, requiring a navy that can support nuclear deterrence, execute expeditionary amphibious landings, and guard vast exclusive economic zones across the globe. France operates Europe's only nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle, giving it virtually unlimited operational endurance. The surface fleet features 10 first-rank guided missile destroyers, referred to in French nomenclature as first-class frigates, consisting of the Horizon and Aquitaine-class Freme designs. These are supported by 11 light frigates, including the Lafayette and Floreal classes, which are routinely deployed to France's overseas territories. France does not operate any cruisers, but like the UK, France commands an entirely nuclear-powered underwater fleet of 9 submarines. This force is split between the cutting-edge Suffren-class nuclear attack submarines and the Triomphant-class ballistic missile submarines. France manages its vast maritime territories with 15 offshore patrol vessels and specialized corvettes optimized for low-intensity maritime security. Expeditionary operations are handled by 3 highly flexible Mistral-class amphibious assault ships, backed by a modern force of 11 mine warfare vessels. France maintains a remarkably high operational tempo, keeping roughly 20 to 25 ships and submarines actively underway across the world's oceans on any given day, ensuring a continuous presence from the Mediterranean all the way to the Indo-Pacific. Number 6. South Korea. The Republic of Korea Navy is a regional powerhouse built under the shadow of a constant existential threat. Faced with the unpredictable nature of North Korea and the rising weight of neighboring superpower fleets, South Korea has constructed an incredibly dense, technologically formidable navy. South Korea does not currently operate active aircraft carriers or cruisers, but its surface combatant force is legendary for its raw firepower. The ROKN fields 12 blue water destroyers, highlighted by the Sejong the Great class. These massive vessels carry more missile launch cells than almost any other Western destroyer in existence. These are paired with 14 modern, fast-striking frigates of the Daegu and Incheon classes. Their silent service commands a highly sophisticated underwater fleet of 22 conventional submarines. The jewel of this force is the Dosun-on Changho class, which features advanced fuel cell AIP systems and is uniquely equipped with vertical launch tubes capable of firing submarine-launched ballistic missiles, a rare capability for a non-nuclear submarine. To lock down its heavily contested maritime borders, the ROKN maintains 11 Pohang-class corvettes and a massive fleet of roughly 70 coastal patrol and fast attack missile craft. For potential counter-landing operations, South Korea operates 11 major amphibious assault ships, including the large, flat-deck Dokdo class, alongside 11 mine warfare vessels. Because South Korea's primary threats are sitting directly on its doorstep, the fleet operates at an exceptional state of high alert. Well over 40% of the entire Navy, amounting to roughly 50 to 60 hulls, is actively patrolling or on immediate, short-notice standby along the northern limit line. Number 5. India. The Indian Navy is the dominant guardian of the Indian Ocean. Operating under a doctrine of strategic independence, India has invested heavily in creating a self-reliant, blue water force built around domestic shipbuilding and massive carrier strike architecture. India is one of the very few nations to actively operate 2 aircraft carriers, the INS Vikramaditya and the newly commissioned, indigenously built INS Vikrant. The heavy surface fleet is composed of 12 guided missile destroyers, led by the powerful new Visakhapatnam and Kolkata classes, and 12 modern frigates, including the advanced Nilgiri and Talwar classes. The silent service comprises 18 submarines, showcasing a mix of conventional diesel-electric hulls like the French-designed Calvary class, alongside the Arahant class, India's homegrown, nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. India keeps its capital ships focused on deep-water missions by utilizing 18 corvettes and an expansive network of roughly 130 coastal and offshore patrol vessels to guard its extensive coastlines. India also maintains 9 major amphibious transport ships and landing docks to project power across the region. The Navy is currently in a rebuilding phase for its mine warfare branch, holding no active dedicated mine hunters, while new designs are sourced. India maintains a continuous, mission-ready posture across key maritime corridors. On any given day, 40 to 50 ships are actively deployed for sea lane security, anti-piracy patrols in the Gulf of Aden, and strategic shadowing across the vital Malacca Strait. Number 4. Japan. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force may carry a defensive title, but make no mistake, this is one of the most elite, heavily armed, and meticulously maintained naval forces on the planet. The JMSDF is engineered with a laser focus on 2 specific domains: absolute mastery of anti-submarine warfare and impenetrable fleet air defense. Japan operates 4 flat-deck helicopter carriers. The largest of these, the Izumo and Kaga, have undergone extensive modifications to operate F-35B stealth fighters, effectively turning them back into true aircraft carriers. Japan's surface fleet features an incredible 36 destroyers. This includes heavy Aegis-equipped fleet air defense destroyers like the Maya, Atago, and Kongo classes, which double as ballistic missile defense platforms. These are supported by 8 next-generation, highly automated Mogami-class frigates. Japan's submarine fleet is universally respected. They field 22 conventional submarines, featuring the world-class Taige and Sarayu classes. These vessels utilize advanced lithium-ion battery technology and AIP systems, making them virtually untraceable in the deep waters of the Pacific. Japan relies almost entirely on its deep-water combatants, keeping a very lean coastal force of just 6 specialized patrol craft. For its island defense and reclamation, Japan maintains 3 large amphibious transport docks alongside an elite, highly vital force of 21 mine warfare ships to secure critical shipping channels. Operating at peak professional efficiency, Japan consistently keeps roughly 35 to 40 major surface combatants and submarines actively underway or on high alert standby, maintaining a constant guard against regional airspace and underwater incursions. Number 3. Russia. The Russian Navy is a unique, asymmetric force. While its blue water surface fleet has struggled significantly with aging hulls and infrastructure backlogs, this vulnerability has been violently exposed in the Black Sea. There, the fleet has suffered severe, ongoing losses, hammered relentlessly by innovative Ukrainian aerial and naval drone strikes that have sunk key vessels and forced much of the remaining surface force to abandon traditional anchorages. Despite these highly visible surface failures, Russia has fiercely prioritized its submarine fleet, retaining a terrifying underwater strike capability that commands global respect. Russia possesses one aircraft carrier, though it has been plagued by accidents and remains inactive in extended refit. The surface fleet still fields heavy firepower via 3 massive missile cruisers, including the nuclear-powered Kirov-class battlecruiser. The remaining blue water backbone rests on 10 aging destroyers and 12 modern, heavily armed frigates like the Admiral Gorshkov class. But the core of Russian naval power is its submarine force. Russia commands 66 submarines, an incredibly lethal mix of long-range nuclear platforms and silent conventional hulls. This includes the state-of-the-art Bora-class ballistic missile submarines and the Yasen-class guided missile submarines, capable of launching long-range hypersonic cruise missiles. So to compensate for a smaller blue water surface fleet, Russia has built a massive green water force. They operate 83 heavily armed corvettes, such as the Styrogushi and Buyan M classes, which pack immense missile firepower into small hulls, alongside roughly 100 coastal patrol craft. Russia also maintains 20 amphibious landing ships and a massive defensive force of 40 mine warfare vessels. While severe mechanical and maintenance issues often limit Russia's surface fleet patrols to roughly 15% to 20% of their total force, their submarine branch operates at a high operational tempo. At any given moment, 15 to 20 Russian submarines are actively gliding through the dark waters of the Atlantic, Arctic, and Pacific Oceans. Number 2. China. The People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, is currently executing the largest shipbuilding program seen since the Second World War. China has transformed its force from an old, brown water coastal defense navy into a massive, high-tech fleet capable of dominating its regional seas and rapidly expanding out into the deep blue water. China currently operates 3 aircraft carriers, the Liaoning, the Shandong, and the massive Type 003 Fujian, which utilizes advanced electromagnetic catapult systems. The tip of China's surface spear is its 8 Type 55 guided missile cruisers, officially classified as destroyers by Western intelligence, which represent some of the most capable surface combatants on the planet. These are accompanied by a massive force of 42 modern destroyers and 43 guided missile frigates. The PLAN possesses a rapidly modernizing underwater fleet of 61 submarines, consisting of a mixed nuclear ballistic missile hulls, nuclear attack submarines, and ultra-quiet conventional AIP submarines. Despite its massive blue water expansion, China has not abandoned its coastal roots. China maintains a vast local defense force of 72 corvettes and 86 fast attack missile boats, effectively creating an iron wall along its immediate coastline. To back up its regional strategic ambitions, China has constructed a powerful amphibious fleet featuring 11 massive LHDs and LPDs, backed by 27 traditional landing ships and 36 mine warfare vessels. Focused heavily on regional hegemony, China keeps a massive percentage of its fleet in a high state of immediate readiness. On any given day, an estimated 120 to 150 Chinese warships are actively underway or on high alert local patrol, keeping a tight, suffocating grip on the South China Sea, the East China Sea, and the Taiwan Strait. Number 1. United States. When the smoke clears, the United States Navy remains the undisputed titan. While China may hold a slight numerical advantage in raw hull counts due to its massive fleet of small coastal corvettes and patrol boats, the United States commands an overwhelming, unmatched lead in total displacement, global logistics, and sheer combat power. The core of American global power projection rests on its 11 nuclear-powered supercarriers, split between the Nimitz class and the next-generation Gerald R. Ford class. Each individual carrier carries an air wing capable of outputting more strike power than many national air forces. Guardians of these carrier strike groups are 13 Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruisers and an immense, standardized force of 76 Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers. The U.S. Navy currently operates 0 active frigates, choosing instead to rely entirely on its heavy destroyers while the new Constellation-class frigates are being built. Impressively, the United States operates an entirely nuclear-powered submarine force of 66 vessels. This includes the silent and deadly Virginia and Los Angeles-class attack submarines, the the specialized Seawolf class, and the 14 Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines, which carry the most survivable leg of America's nuclear triad. The U.S. Navy operates 23 coastal combat ships, split between the Freedom and Independence classes. These serve as the Navy's light corvette equivalents, alongside roughly 15 remaining small coastal patrol craft. To support Marine expeditionary forces worldwide, the U.S. commands an unmatched amphibious fleet. This includes 9 massive Wasp, and America-class amphibious assault ships, which function as medium aircraft carriers when loaded with F-35Bs, and 23 large landing docks, supported by 8 mine warfare ships.